Welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is rental car number 153, and today I'm driving the 2020 Kia Soul S. No full review in this one. Instead, this is just going to be a road test. And before I jump behind the wheel and show you what this thing can do, let's go over specs really quick. Under the hood, we got a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine. It's a 2-speed CVT with overdrive for the transmission, and it kicks out not a ton of power, just 147 horsepower at 6,200 RPMs. But because you don't have a lot of speed here, you do have some pretty decent gas mileage. 27 in the city, 33 on the highway with a combined rating of 30. So I guess that's my long-winded way of saying don't be expecting a sports car, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this thing isn't fun to drive. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about handling at lower speeds. Because of the size of the vehicle, it's actually extremely nice. You can really corner on a dime. Parking is a breeze, and it's super responsive. And what I mean by that is when you turn the steering wheel, you are instantly turning. That might sound a little bit strange, but it's not true of every vehicle. Sometimes when you turn the steering wheel a little bit, it takes a second for the car to respond, but not with the Soul. It's just really crisp, which I love because it makes just maneuvering around parking lots and things like that super easy. Handling at higher speeds is a little bit different. Let me jump out on the road right here and let's take a spin together. So when you're up to about 30, 35, doing gentle curves like this isn't a problem at all. You feel super comfortable. But for me, when I get up to about 45 or so, let's pass this plumbing guy. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna start slipping just a little bit. It doesn't feel like the car can do much more than 45 around gentle curves like this. Still pretty fun though. I mean, I have no problem hugging that crease between the blacktop and the curb. Let me show you a U-turn real quick, because the turning radius is really sharp, so it's no problem to stay in the lane going around that median. So handling at low speeds is exceptional. Handling at higher speeds is, you know, it's pretty good. But it's not a sports car, so just keep that in mind if this is something you're considering. Let's do an acceleration test. See if we can get to a place where we're not going to bother anybody. So let me hang another U-turn. We'll come to a dead stop and I'll floor it and we'll see how the engine sounds. So, dead stop, here we go. Not bad. I like the growl. And it's fairly responsive. So when I floored the accelerator, it did take a heartbeat or two before I really feel like I was rocketing forward. But other than that, acceleration is decent. Let's try accelerating while we're moving. So we're at about 40 miles an hour now. Let me slam down on the accelerator. Yeah, takes a heartbeat or two, maybe a second and a half before the car responds, but that's not too bad. One other thing I like to look at is cabin noise. Really what I'm concerned about is, can I hear the radio and whatever I'm listening to over my cell phone? So I actually don't know what radio station this is set to, but I'm gonna get up to about 40, so a decent speed, and let's turn on the radio and see if we can hear the words being spoken.
You know, the same shower that you have to yell, "Don't flush the toilet, I'm in the shower." Don't put up with this anymore. It's time to get rid of those old rusty corroded pipes and get brand new PEX or cup.
So it's not bad. I mean, you can definitely hear the wind kind of going around the vehicle, but I can make out what's being said over the radio, and that was at a really low volume. So seems like cabin noise is pretty decent on this vehicle. At higher speeds though, it's a little bit iffy. All right, so let's test out acceleration. I'm flooring it right now. Sounds nice. Takes a little bit to get up to 60, but that's to be expected on a vehicle at this price point, especially at this size. We're going about 70. What I like to see though is, can we get a burst of speed when we need it. So can we pass, you know, one of these trucks up here fairly easily? So we're at 72. I'm going to change lanes and floor it. Oh, wow. So we still can get some decent speed when we're going fairly fast. Let's see if we can get around these two semis. Not bad. So we're going about 90 right now. I'm going to slow down soon so I avoid any speeding tickets, but fairly happy with the acceleration. Handling at higher speeds, I'm not going to lie, I feel the car shaking a little bit. I think this is probably the limit. Wouldn't want to go too much faster than this. Let's slow down a bit. So I'm driving home and I just had to share something. So on the Kia Soul, they have lane departure assistant technology. Typically on the rentals I've driven, you have to have cruise activated, and the vehicle has to have adaptive cruise for the lane departure assistant technology to actually steer for you. But that's not the case on the Soul. So I don't have cruise activated, I'm just cruising along, and I don't have my hands on the steering wheel at all. The car is actually steering for me. Watch, we're gonna go through a curve right here. Here's my hand, I'm holding my cell with the other. Going into the sun too. And look, the car is steering for me around this bend. That is just wild, especially for a car at this price point. I guess the future's really here. All right, so we've looked at handling, acceleration, and cabin noise. Just to recap, handling, really great at low speeds. Okay at anything above about 50 miles per hour. Acceleration is decent, but I don't think you can expect more from a $20,000 car with an inline 4 and only 147 horses. And cabin noise is great at low speeds. You know, when you get up to 70 or 80, you hear the wind pretty bad. But again, for a $20,000 hatchback, can you really complain? Anyway, at least in my opinion, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I'd love to see a little bit more fun when it comes to the acceleration and handling at higher speeds, but for a cruiser to commute to the city and back, I think this thing will work great. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. If you think differently, please share your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you join me next time when I'm back with another rental car. I'll see you then.